Good afternoon, guys. Bit of a different one this week. We've been doing training sessions, obviously over the last number of weeks, but today we're lucky to have Charlotte from Klarna on the call. I know a number of merchants over the last sort of 12 months, 18 months have been interested in getting Klarna live on IRP. So fortunately, we've a new direct point of contact within Klarna, Charlotte, and she's just going to run through sort of the key points in the platform itself, and then we'll talk a bit about onboarding and next steps there if anybody else wants to move things forward with Klarna. So I'll hand over to Charlotte now, and she can take it from here.
Amazing. Thank you, Richard. So yeah, as Richard said, I'm commercial lead for Klarna UK and Ireland. So I'll be kind of the new point of contact going forward for the IRP Klarna and then retailer relationship. And for today, just hoping to take you through a quick introduction of who kind of Klarna is, setting the scene of who we are and our place in the world. Answering that question of why are people clicking on Klarna, how you can use Klarna as your growth engine to really kind of supercharge your business, and then finally how we can work together, obviously, with IRP as well. So without further ado, I will jump straight into that introduction. Just in terms of kind of the scope and scale of Klarna globally. So we're working with over 500,000 retail partners and processing on average over 2 million transactions a day. But I think where it gets really interesting for our retail partners is with the customer network that we have. So we currently have over 150 million customers who are incredibly engaged, with about 28 million monthly active users within the Klarna app. And we'll get into a bit more detail in a second as to why that's incredibly important. In terms of today's conversation, as what the conversation we've been having with IRP, we are focusing on the UK and Ireland, but we absolutely do have global operations. So we launched in 2005 in Sweden, and since then we've kind of spread out across Europe, flown across the pond over to North America, and we're also present in Asia Pacific. So if you are present already in those areas or planning on expanding into those areas, please do mention it to either your key IRP contact or also to Klarna, because chances are we're already present in those markets or can help you kind of expand with local knowledge as well. In terms of the sectors that we're working in, a lot of retailers that we speak to, they initially assume if they don't know a lot about Klarna, they know us for kind of our partnerships with the likes of H&M, ASOS, all very fashion heavy. But actually, we sort of cover this very broad spectrum of e-commerce and m-commerce, all the way from sort of fashion, home electronics, lifestyle and sport, all the way through to everyday payments such as subscriptions for Disney Plus as well. So there really is a very broad range that we cover. And what we're looking to do is leverage that industry-wide knowledge that we have and provide retailers with insights that they wouldn't otherwise be able to obtain as well. And then when we look at that customer base, I think what's really key is that the growth of that customer base. So we're seeing 69% year-on-year growth. As I mentioned, there's 150 million consumers that we have, and where we're actually outstripping other payment players with that growth. We always say when you kind of look at the graph on the right, there isn't really a typical Klarna customer. We do tend to over-index on that younger consumer, the millennial and Gen Z customer, which is why a lot of retailers choose to partner with Klarna, because we can really help them speak to that audience in a way that audience likes and ensures that they're engaged. But we also do see very strong prevalence amongst Gen X as well. Now, when we zoom in a little bit onto Ireland and the UK, what you can see there is just on the right-hand side, some of the sort of brands that we're already live with across Ireland and the UK. And I think what's key is that in the 7 years that we've been live in the UK, we've seen incredible growth. It's very much a mature market now, and we're looking to replicate that in the Irish market. And where UK has seen such great brand awareness, it's really sort of helped boost the Irish market, where we launched in November 2021. What we're currently seeing is 3 million UK monthly active Klarna app users. So they're really living within that app space, engaging with Klarna and all of the retailers within there a lot. And in terms of Ireland, just moving on to the next slide, we're actually seeing 560,000 customers already using Klarna, which is about 10% of the Irish population, which we're incredibly excited about because it is, in terms of timing, still early days. But as I said, we're on an impressive growth trajectory, and we really want retailers to be a part of that as well. When we look at the UK, it is a more established market where we've been present for longer. We have over 25 million customers there today, And in terms of that brand awareness, amongst that really engaged sort of digitally native younger customer, it's currently at 81% amongst millennials. So that's that real sweet spot that retailers partner with us for. Now, why is all of this important? It's because we've built this kind of brand, and we have this sort of sway amongst that younger consumer. Partners can really leverage the strong brand that we have, and we do various different campaigns with retail partners. But one of the more recent ones that we did was Klarna Dream Deal Days. Think of it as kind of like a Prime Day, but just the Klarna version, where we sort of push out different deals that our retail partners are doing across various channels. And we saw incredible results globally with over 10 million impressions. So what we're really looking to do is partnering with brands and helping them spread sort of that awareness and reach to more customers. Now, the purpose of these conversations and I should say the focus of these conversations that we're having are very much on the online piece and how Klarna can be sort of introduced across your site in the UK and Ireland. But I wanted to just have a quick nod to in-store. We do have a full suite of marketing solutions, one of which is called Stocard. And what you can see, some of the retailers there on the right-hand side, the likes of Decathlon, Superdrug, they've undertaken different marketing campaigns which are focused on drive to store. So if you do have brick and mortar operations, again, please do mention that to your IRP contact or also to Klarna, as there definitely are different levers that we can pull there to sort of achieve some of those business results that you're looking to achieve. Now, what we're all here for today is to answer, why do people actually click Klarna? And what we've done is we've kind of honed in on two specific areas, our engaging brand and also our superior product. So first up, the engaging brand. When you think of finance, and at some point somewhere, someone decided that blue was the color of trust, and that's what we're seeing here. All of these different payment and banking players, very blue. Some people might even call it relatively boring. But what we're coming in to do is we've built this brand that is quirky, different. It talks to customers on a different level. And where Klarna really comes in is the choice for a new generation of shoppers. Some of you might already be familiar with some of the campaigns that we've undertaken, huge global campaigns with celebrities such as Lady Gaga, Snoop Dogg, who actually changed his name to Smooth Dog for the day. All these different campaigns to really broaden the reach of Klarna, hence why we have that 150 million base. But then also that then again means that you can, as a retailer, can leverage that brand that we have. Now, when we look at the superior product, what we can see is there's been a significant fall in the use of credit. There absolutely still is a place for credit, but what we're seeing is an active shift away from traditional credit card usage. Again, it's part of this falling out of touch with traditional finance providers, traditional banking partners who are charging incredibly high APRs, late fees, things like that. What customers are asking for is all the benefits of credit, but using a debit card. So this is where Klarna really comes in, by offering them that kind of flexibility to spread the cost over time, giving them the chance to kind of try before you buy, but also adding that trust and security. And we've done various different surveys, but from our 2021 survey, we actually found that a third of Klarna customers would not have checked out if Klarna wasn't available. So again, you're really adding that sort of that trust and security piece there. Now, when we look at the shopping journey, it's the entire end-to-end process, not just actually when the customer's checking out, before they even land on your site, once they're on your site, and then after their visit. If we look at before the visit, what we've seen is that retailers that are actually talking about Klarna on either their paid or organic media channels are seeing huge results, as high as a 4x increase in return on ad spend, just through mentioning Klarna on their different marketing, across their different marketing channels, because you're already educating that customer about the availability of these flexible options, and also just letting them know that they can split that larger payment into smaller installments. Now, when we look at during the visit, there's various different touch points all the way from headers through to messaging on product display pages to FAQ pages. And again, it all feeds into that education piece and letting customers know the availability of Klarna. And what this does, it has incredible results for different retail partners that have leveraged this tool. I should say this is kind of available out of the box with IRP as well. So very impressive, very light lift. When we look at actually on-site messaging, some of our partners have chosen to A/B test this, such as Sonos and Lenovo, and through those A/B tests, they actually saw a 14% increase in revenue and a 25% increase in average order value. Again, because you're talking to customers, letting them see that breakdown, and really educating them about how Klarna works and how they can use it. When we actually look at the payment products, what you get with Klarna is essentially like a payment wallet where customers choose which payment method they want to check out with. There are slight differences in product availability, or payment method availability, I should say, across the different markets. So for the UK, you have Pay Now available, pay in 30 days, which is essentially the customer pays nothing and then pays 30 days later, but the retailer will get the money up front from Klarna because we're taking on that credit risk. Then the 3 payments, which is a third is paid there and then, another third 30 days later, and then another third, the final third, another 30 days after that. So 60 days since the purchase was made. And then in the UK, there's an option to have fair financing, which we would recommend for average order values or baskets over £1,000. The only thing to note is that you would need to have a separate credit broking license for that. So if you do fall into that higher AOV bracket, please again, just make us, well, we will be aware, but just let us know that financing might be of interest and we can look into that for you. Now then, for Ireland, there's also the Pay Now, and then there's also the Pay in 3 available. So customers do also have that flexibility. And of course, once that customer is actually checked out, that we don't see that as the end of the process. What the customer will receive is the confirmation email or confirmation from yourselves as the retailer, but Klarna will also contact the customer with an email where we will be prompting them to download the Klarna app. Once they've downloaded the Klarna app, it's a much more enhanced experience for them than what they would see with their traditional bank statement, where you just get kind of a line item detail and nothing else. You just get an item detail with a value and the name of the retailer. Whereas at Klarna, we're actually in the Klarna app, we're offering them that SKU level data. They can see exactly what they've bought for how much from which retailer. And once they actually go onto that final screen, the third one that you can see there on the page, once they scroll down, it actually takes them straight back to the retailer website. So we're really closing that loop, not just saying, okay, purchase done, finished, end of job. We're actually saying, okay, you love this product, you bought it at this and this retailer. Why don't you have another visit back to the site again? Customers from within the app can also manage their payments. They can manage, they can pay it off early. They can extend a due date. They can reach out to us via our chat function 24/7. Hence why we're pushing them to download that app, because it really is where sort of Klarna lives and breathes and where customers can sort of see to all of their shopping needs. Now, what does all of this mean in terms of the engaging brand, the superior product, all of these different customers? It means that retailers have the ability to utilize Klarna as their growth engine. So just a further breakdown of that customer base, there's 150 million shoppers that we have globally. They are super engaged, and I've just highlighted the UK and Ireland for you there. It does skew slightly more millennial and slightly more female, but it's something where once we have, as you can see, because we have all of these shoppers, what does that actually allow us to do? It gives us this amazing wealth of data at our fingertips that retailers often otherwise wouldn't have access to. So rather than just feeding back to you to say like, oh, look, this month you did this volume and you had this average order value, we can actually say you've had this many customers from this and this location. This is what they've been buying, and this is what we believe they will be buying. So it's that purchase intent piece, which is really, really crucial because it influences the future decisions that we could be making together. Once we have all of this data about the customer, the relevance of that is that across the Klarna marketing channels that are available, so all the way from social media through to influencers, we can ensure relevance in what is otherwise a very, very busy space. We know that retail marketing is incredibly busy and customers are getting hit with ads left, right, and center. But it just ensures that we're talking to the right customer at the right time, in the right place as well. And when we partner with retailers like this to undertake different marketing campaigns, the results we see are incredible. So this was a specific campaign that we did with Ray-Ban, and they actually saw over 130% increase in quarter-on-quarter sales and over 100% increase in quarter-on-quarter revenue as well. So this is for specific marketing campaigns. But of course, we understand that there are so many different key sort of business KPIs that businesses are looking to achieve. So these are just some other retailer results that retailers have managed to reach through partnering with Klarna. Those key things such as increasing average order value, increasing conversion, increasing new shoppers, increasing repeat purchase. These are all things, and Richard will go into it in a second as well, specific results that they've seen with IRP customers launching with Klarna. So yes, in terms of how we can work together, it really is as straightforward as 1, 2, 3. So we'll start up with the sign-up process. So you essentially sign an agreement with Klarna. We'll agree on timelines to go live. whilst that's all going on, we'll start to prepare. So because it's a financial product, there is an underwriting process that you as a business will have to go through, but we'll guide you through that process. We'll request various documents and it'll all be super clear to you. You'll then generate your API credentials and the implementation is then carried out. Klarna will then help you with testing in order to prepare for the launch. And then on that pre-agreed date for launch, we will go live and you will start accepting Klarna across your site or sites. So that was very much a whistle-stop tour of all things Klarna. I will now hand over to Richard, who is going to take you through some slightly more sort of specific and real-life examples of Klarna and IRP.
Thanks a lot, Charlotte, for the detailed walkthrough there. And there's probably quite a few things there for some of the guys who maybe have Klarna active in one territory that they're probably not even aware of around the Klarna app there. Some interesting stats around average order value and conversion rate as well. Something that we touch on in our sort of weekly or bi-weekly webinars and our training sessions in terms of how we actually grow the figures and the metrics there. So just by having Klarna turned on, I think is definitely a positive thing. So I have a couple of very quick slides here just in terms of IRP results. And you'll see here Merchant A activated Klarna on the 26th of June 2020. This is a comparison of the same period in 2019. And there was a 28.71% average order value uplift there. And so definitely sort of just gives a bit of substance and to what Charlotte's really saying there, that Klarna can definitely help improving the average order value there, certainly. Merchant B here, similar scenario, similar time period as well. This is 2020, just before COVID, and lockdowns from 25th of August. And that comparison is versus 2019. So again, we're seeing average order value uplift there as well, significantly. So if there's something like simple and easy in terms of how you would actually just increase that average order value, I suppose the case of filling out whatever the necessary documentation is there, and that we can then integrate the Klarna scripts on the IRP site there for you. If you want to move on, then Charlotte, just there's another couple of slides here on IRP examples if anybody wants to have a look. So top one there, you'll see Argento, sizable merchant in IRP, almost 30,000 reviews there. You'll see in the top bar, you'll see Klarna advertised. Just in the heading banner there, down below the search bar. Below that, then we've got the Visor Shop, and then the next slide there is just actually the product page there, and you'll see the breakdown of costs. So very attractive for anybody and want to spend, typically probably more than £100 to £200. You'll see Campmore as the top example there, £1,250 in terms of how much that product costs. Breakdown there for the 3 payments is a hell of a lot more attractive than forking out that £1,250 all at once. So those are just a couple of examples. As Charlotte said there, the process in terms of signing up is pretty simple and straightforward in terms of how you would roll that out. I know over the last probably 12 or 18 months, it's been a timely process, but I think with having Charlotte there as our contact now, definitely she should help things along. There's a contact there for us all, whether that be account managers or for the merchant to go to directly there. But that's really examples I wanted to show there, Charlotte, and thanks a million for walking through everything there in relation to Klarna. I think it's a really good sort of learning experience for anybody that takes the time to have a look at the PowerPoint or the spread or the show there essentially.
Amazing. Just before we wrap up, there's also just some frequently asked questions that I thought we could run through, just because I feel like we can head them off ahead of time. So yeah, thank you, Richard, for sharing those real life examples, because I think it just really brings to life what Klarna can deliver for retail partners and what we are delivering across both the UK and Ireland and further afield as well. So some of the questions, these are kind of the 3 key questions that we always get asked. So how much does Klarna cost? It's a per transaction fee of 4.99% plus 35 cents, which covers the pay in 3, the fraud risk and the payment risk, because Klarna will be taking on all of that. But as retailers, you'll be receiving that money up front. So you'll essentially get that money up front less the Klarna fee. So again, helping to better manage that cash flow as well. So even though customers get that longer time to pay, you'll still be getting that money up front. In terms of the second question, how long will it take to go live? Again, this it is dependent on what resource you have available in terms of ensuring that we get the right documentation for that underwriting process and sort of signing the agreement, etc. Just how long that takes you to get all of that information over to us. But what we're seeing is roughly 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how much you can, how much resource you can spare. But I will just emphasize, we do make it as light touch as possible. It is obviously a financial product, so there are certain checks and things that we have to undertake, but we'll guide you through that whole process, and we have a guide ready to go, which we'll be sharing after this recording as well. And then very finally, I know I touched on it earlier, but just what payment options that customers have access to. I've just wanted to lay out clearly the differences between the UK and Ireland as well. And of course, if you're live in any other markets or looking to expand into other markets, we can, of course, provide you with the product breakdowns there as well. So yeah, those are the frequently asked questions. But just to wrap up from my part, we had discussed some kind of next steps. So this will obviously be shared with, this recording will be shared with everyone, so they can have reference to it, see the slides again, etc. We'll also be sending around a sort of a retailer info pack, which just provides you sort of very simple steps that you need to know between today and when you want to go live. And you can start gathering together some of that information that we're going to require for underwriting. And once you've had your internal conversations, you're ready to go, we obviously want to hear from you. So please do request kickoff calls via your IRP contact, whether that's an account manager or Richard as well. And they'll then get in touch with us and we can schedule those initial kickoff calls and get the show on the road.
Perfect. No, I think that pretty much covers, you know, the basics there. There'll probably be some who'll have, you know, specific questions there. But we can certainly follow up on it. And as Charlotte says there, if you reach out to either myself, David, or one of the account managers, we can help get the ball rolling with this. So we'll be sharing the recording as well with anyone who signed up there. So be good to hear from you in terms of getting Klarna live there. I think it's a no-brainer. It's a simple one to implement. So yeah, thanks a million, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to hearing from everyone in due course.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.